What's going on, everybody out there? Welcome to the Fourth Line Minutes podcast, shift number 11. I am your host, Chris Maselli, and joining me on this show and every shift, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. How are we doing today, my friend?
What's going on, everybody? How's it going?
So today we only have a couple topics, but I think they're going to be pretty heated discussions. We're going to wrap up our WandaVision discussion, which we have not even discussed between you and I what went down. So normally we have our discussions, all day long. For whatever reason, we didn't. I don't think it was because we were holding judgment until the show, but I don't know. It's odd that we haven't really gotten to it.
I have a feeling that both topics we're going to cover today are going to be polar opposites for both of us.
You think so?
I do.
Wow. So that means you didn't like the WandaVision episode.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because the other thing we're going to be talking about today is the ESPN NHL contract, which I do not like. So, and I know that you are all for it. So by process of elimination, you weren't a fan of WandaVision. So we'll get to everything. So, but like, follow the show on social media. We have a Twitter, which is at Fourth Minutes. We have a Instagram, which you just search for Fourth Line Minutes. And we have an email, fourthlineminutes@gmail.com, if you want to send anything over there. So, all right. Yeah, we didn't discuss WandaVision yet. So you've had time to digest it. And wow, I'm just want to throw it over to you, because this is the first I'm hearing that you did not like how it ended. So the floor is yours, my friend. What is going on?
Okay, for WandaVision, for everything we were talking about, how intricate all the details were, how we spent almost an episode in every era, we finally get to the finale, and then Game of Thrones fans can understand this felt like the Game of Thrones finale. This felt like just tie up everything as quickly as possible and finish it up. Like, granted, like, there were some good reveals, and last shift we talked with Adam about possible theories, and we were speaking on the grand stage, but this just went all the way down to basically just Wanda and Agatha.
Yeah, and well, I think people maybe were a little put off by like White Vision and him. It was just like this kind of like minor little fight that they had, and then Vision kind of like settled him down and was just like, kind of steered him in the right direction, and then he took off, and that was it. So I didn't expect White Vision to hang around very long. I was my buddy Mark. He thought he was like here to stay. I'm like, I don't think so, man. It's just not. He thought he was going to take over as a new Vision and slowly get some memories back. And I'm like, I don't know. That just doesn't. They could have went that route. I like how it ended with her and him. How she kind of just gave up on this life and was just like, I know I can't keep these people here the way. And what's her name? Detective Rambo was like, they'll never, or what'd she say? They'll never know the sacrifice that you made.
Yeah.
And she's like, let's keep it that way, or something like that. But it did seem to get like, I think what they were going for by the end of this was to really show you how powerful Wanda is.
Yeah.
Because going forward, I think she is going to be someone that they really lean on. Like, who is going to be the next Captain America? I don't mean that literally, like who is going to be Captain America. I mean, who is going to be the person that the MCU leans on?
Yeah.
Who is it? I mean, I think it would have been like Black Panther.
Yeah.
If Chadwick Boseman didn't pass away. I think they were leaning towards him. We're getting Falcon and Winter Soldier this week.
I believe.
I think it's the 19th. I think it's this week.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the Justice League 4-hour extravaganza is the 18th, I believe.
which has nothing to do with the Marvel universe. So I don't care about that. But I will watch that though. I have to watch that just because all of the fanfare surrounding that thing and it's finally out. I think I just have to watch it just because.
Yeah,
So
that's one of those points of contention. Like Chris is a Marvel guy. Like
yeah,
I've always been a DC guy, so I
yeah,
have to watch and just put up with it. But
yeah.
that's how I remembered that in the timeline. That
And the DC comics are great. They just have not been translated into movies. Is my
yeah.
problem. Um, but I think like so where is Marvel going with this in terms of like is she, because she's insanely powerful,
Mhm.
and look who is Marvel going the direction of like look who their most powerful people are right now. Could be Wanda and could be Captain Marvel.
Mhm.
Like they are leaning towards like heavily towards the women movement, and I love that because Captain Marvel is no joke, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she's brutal in a good way. She fights for the good guys,
And we have
but
Miss Marvel coming up as well.
and that's coming up too. And I don't know what they're doing with Iron Man, but that they're making Riri Williams, who is in the comics like the teenage Iron Man.
Mhm.
So I love they're going in that direction, but who like those characters are not in the world of Marvel, they're not on the level of Captain America and Iron Man and Hulk and Thor. So are they trying to make those characters like household names now? It could work. I'm not saying it won't, because look what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy were nobodies.
they were jokes.
They were a laughing stock
Yeah,
of Marvel. And even when that movie was announced, people were like, well, here's the end of the MCU. This is where the downfall is. You're going to be able to pinpoint it. And the absolute opposite happened. So I think Marvel's now in the position to take some risks. And I think it's a less risk for people like Captain Marvel and Wanda because they're more well known than the Guardians of the Galaxy were and more powerful.
and did you
So
not catch at the end Doctor Strange music playing while Wanda was in that cabin?
I didn't catch the music, but that's a total call to what is ahead.
Yeah, is that what we're
Total
about to get in the new Doctor Strange Multiverse of
100%.
Madness? Is Wanda versus Doctor Strange?
I don't know if it's going to be Wanda versus Doctor Strange, but it is going to be like, it's going to be called Multiverse of Madness for a reason. There is going to be characters coming from all the different universes. And if you don't follow Marvel and what the universes are, I implore you to go look up some YouTube videos because it can get a little convoluted and confusing. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. If
Yeah,
that's the route they're going with all the different multiverses, there's a long way to go before we get to Captain or not Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. And even with the Eternals coming out, that has a lot to do with multiverse and stuff. So it's this is going to be a fun, wild ride, but it could get a little confusing.
and like when they introduced White Vision, I thought that was cool. Like he's a West Coast Avenger.
Hmm.
I mean, that could be your new ABC summer series that have the West Coast Avengers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Well, they did something a couple years ago where they assigned an Avenger to every state,
mhm.
and depending on where you lived, you could only get that copy. So it was the same book, but the cover was what, like, you live in Alabama, so in the background it'd be the outline of Alabama and whoever your Avenger was. I know I'm in New York. Luke Cage was our Avenger.
Oh, that's nice.
Let me look up who they were. I don't know how Avengers by state, maybe.
We'll probably get
Uh,
Squirrel Girl.
the 50 state initiative. Yeah, the Earth 616. All right, Squirrel Girl. Let me see if this is easy to look up here.
Yeah, that's
It's
almost
not.
the same principle of as the Green Lantern core.
What'd they do with that?
All every planet. Well, the universe was listed into sectors, and every sector had their own Green Lantern.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So that's why you had like you had John Stewart and you had Hal Jordan, you had Kyle Granier. There's a ton of Green Lanterns. Like there's a whole
Really?
comic series of the Green Lantern Corps.
Let's see. So, all right, I got all that. I got to go through them all. So, Scarlet Witch was Maine.
There you go, Maine.
Vision was Washington D.C. Let's see here. Miss Marvel was New Jersey. You got North Dakota, Washington, South Dakota, Nebraska. Ant-Man was Vermont.
Hey.
And they run out. Now you don't get them all.
Oh,
they don't give them all to me.
So the South doesn't get Avengers. Okay,
no,
I see how.
Hang on. Is this? I can't. God, it zooms into. It's not clear. I gotta find it because it's driving me. All right, see all of Marvel 50 variant covers. All right, here we go. Let's see. No, damn ads. Jesus. All right, let's see. This is all right. Alabama. Thor.
You're kidding.
You got Thor. Yep.
Well, we win.
So it was cool. I didn't really go anywhere, and that's the thing with Marvel is their comics. They have a good idea, and then it runs for like 3 issues, and then they completely change their mind and has nothing to do with anything anymore. So that's where it's a bit frustrating.
I know. I'm a Punisher guy. They have no idea what to do with him in the
comics. Yeah, that's true. So, but I don't know. I think the groundwork has been laid for Doctor Strange. And man, when that movie comes out, that is going to be a free-for-all. That's going to be crazy, that movie.
Yeah, I'm not saying like I hated the finale, but for the tone that we had all the way through, it felt extremely rushed. And one of those that I'd probably watched 2 or 3 times to probably get everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't released weekly like Mandalorian was, if I watched it all in one sitting like a Stranger Things binge session, I probably would have appreciated it all as a whole.
Yeah.
But that weekly, like, you had no idea what was going on. It was almost like a slow burn, especially right in the beginning. You had no idea what was going on.
No, right.
And then you get down to that finale, and it just, you could not blink. There was stuff going on everywhere. And then the big problem I had, okay, so Agatha is now Agnes. But then she collapses the hex.
Okay.
So what is she now?
So does she? Yeah, because if everybody else inside the hex went back to normal,
isn't she back?
Would she go back to normal? I don't know, but maybe she could put something on her where it doesn't affect her, even if the hex implodes on itself. I don't know. It's a good question.
Because at the end, her kids were calling out through the magical energy.
Right.
So they somehow are through the hex. Like White Vision, he's through the hex. He came in and out. So what's Agatha's status?
That's a good point.
It's
a very good point.
So is she going to be like the 3rd protagonist in the Doctor Strange movie?
I think we're done with her. Like I don't need to see any more of her.
Have just like a standoff, like that meme. Everybody just standing there looking at each other.
Oh, the Spider-Man thing. Right? Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. So we'll see.
It was well done for Marvel's first real attempt at just a series, like a Disney Plus Marvel production series, like not counting like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or stuff like that, or the Netflix properties. This is Marvel's first production when it comes to a weekly series, and they knocked it out of the park. They did a great job. Just the finale just felt a little weird, and I want to contribute a little of that to COVID, because I think
that's true.
Darcy there was something with COVID with her. That's why
Yeah.
she wasn't so prevalent. But
Yeah, that's a good point too. What do you think remember about halfway through, Elizabeth Olsen said something to the effect of like, we will be getting a
I was
reveal.
about to ask you about this.
And do you really think it was Quicksilver? Like, it's
Well,
not.
and then at
Or
the end, Quicksilver wasn't even
he
Quicksilver.
wasn't even that. Yeah, and it can't be really like White Vision. That's not. I mean, when she said it was on the level of Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian, you better bring the goods. You know what I mean? And
Unless she's talking about like the Doctor Strange theme playing at the very, very end.
that
But
that no, that's too.
anything
You
else,
got to
just
be in tune. You got to
yeah.
be in tune to really pick up on that. And if you were going, you can't compare uh
Was it the
a theme
scroll
song
reveal
to this. Was that was at the
in
no, that's
credits?
what I'm saying, man. Like, yeah, those are all cool things, but when you are comparing a reveal of the like of Luke Skywalker,
Yeah,
you better bring something like we've been saying, and I like Magneto or something like that. That's on the level.
nothing in
But
that finale was the level of that moment when Luke Skywalker showed up in that finale.
right,
Like that was one of those, oh crap, it's him, and you're like edge of your seat. Like there's
right.
no way. There was none of that in that finale. Nothing
Mm,
close.
no, I agree. I agree. So I think she got that wrong. I
And
think
it was
maybe
like Paul Bettany was going through media saying, I haven't worked with this actor and I've always wanted to. And it turned out to be himself. Like he debunked his own, like he felt bad about even hyping that up. And it
right.
turned out to be him. But we haven't heard anything about that left field. Like there was nothing that was even
No,
close.
like I said, but I think she, God, I don't remember, but I thought she said it after the Quicksilver one, or maybe when he was revealed. I think she even made that comment
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
So you're like, okay, well that I believe you. There's a really good reveal here, and then she makes that comment, and you're like, all right, you're on the right track, and nothing.
And the thing that really I maybe clouded the way I viewed the finale before I even got home to watch the episode from work, I saw like I think it was the producer or the director said, I want everybody to pump your brakes on your theory and just enjoy the finale, and was afraid that somebody would be disappointed. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
Magneto, throw that right out. That's not happening. That's the only reason
Right.
he would say that. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what are they doing? And they tied everything up basically, but
Hmm.
it's one of those like, should have the series even existed? It was a great story.
Well, I think a lot of things with Marvel is you have to let everything play out. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be a marathon.
Yeah.
So there are going to be things that we see in other series and movies that call back to this. So as its own, standalone series, I thought it was really enjoyable. I looked
Yeah.
forward to it every week. I thought those first two episodes were brilliant.
Yes.
That with
Absolutely.
the old, so like the old I Love Lucy era or whatever you want to say, but those were, it was just like a breath of fresh air, and you
Yeah.
knew things were going to get serious, but to have it kind of started at like lighthearted like that, I thought was great. I thought
Yeah.
they did a good job with it. So yeah, I mean, I think it ended okay. I wasn't as put off by the ending, but I think we're not done with WandaVision yet. I think
No.
there's more to come and more callbacks to it all throughout the next several years,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I mean, we had Thanos, that carrot dangling in front of our face for quite a while. So
Yep, absolutely. So, and we'll see. Yeah, I think, like we said, Falcon Winter Soldier is Friday, so we move on right to the next thing, which I love that.
yeah.
So, all right, moving into the hockey world. So, we have been talking about here and there, and if you follow me on Locked On Avalanche, I talked about it on Monday's episode, and ESPN and the NHL have struck a deal. So after I don't know. How many years has it been off of ESPN?
I think it 9 or it's between 7 and 9 years.
I even thought it was longer than that.
It was
I could,
2000.
you could be right, but
Ooh, it might even be longer than that. Yeah,
it
you might
could
be
be.
right.
It's a
Yeah.
long time. It's a long time that NHL has not been on ESPN, and that will come to an end. The NHL and ESPN struck a 7-year deal. There's a lot of ins and outs to it. The NHL will get rights to pretty much every hockey game that would have been on NHL TV. So that is going away, and everything is transitioning over to ESPN Plus. ESPN gets 4 out of the 7 years. They get 4 Stanley Cups that they can televise, and then they're doing weekly games and stuff like that. Basically, NHL is back on ESPN. I completely understand doing this move by the NHL. Like from the business side of things, it's you don't even think twice about this because ESPN has a reach that nobody has in the world of sports. When ESPN did have the NHL, it was great, but that was a different time, and things have changed oh so much for ESPN over the years. So much so, dude. Like I don't watch ESPN hardly at all because
No.
to me, it's like cringeworthy television. And I said on my show, and I posted it to Twitter, how they blurred the line between sports journalism and TMZ
Mhm.
because they care more about what an athlete is doing off the court or off the field, maybe a little bit more than what
Yeah.
they're actually doing on the field.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy, and we're in for a change. We really, really are. People think this is great just because ESPN has the brand recognition, and they do, but they ruin things as well. I don't think people understand how much ESPN ruins things, and I'm not going to say they're going to ruin the NHL to where the NHL is going to cease to exist, but they're going to try new things with the NHL that are just going to fall completely flat. And you thought people made fun of the NHL before this. It's gonna give the NHL a bad name because ESPN is going to be the ones to make stupid decisions in their broadcasting, and it's going to make the NHL look bad. I get it from a business standpoint, but being a viewer and a fan, I can't stand ESPN. I can't.
And this is where our discussion is now bleeding into fourth line minutes because in true ESPN style, this is going to be our version of first take. This is worst take. And in true Lee Corso style, not so fast.
Not so fast. Yeah. Okay.
I think the ESPN deal. Yes, I will agree that ESPN has changed the last time the NHL was affiliated with ESPN, and that breakup wasn't the best. There was some hard feelings, and ESPN tried everything they could to bury the NHL. Like if you tried to look up the NHL on ESPN.com, it's in the More tab. They would not. They would just briefly cover it during Stanley Cup playoff time.
Oh God, it was glossed over.
Yes, it was very just. It was almost the equivalent of trying to get the score for the Baltimore Orioles and Tampa Bay Rays.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just, there's your score and we go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because of that breakup. ESPN was not a fan of how the dissension between the players union and the owners and that ongoing saga that we've had to deal with forever and ever and ever.
Right.
And I think that the motivation of getting this year done was the NHL trying to be like, see, ESPN, we get along now. And this is the NHL wanting ESPN. I mean, love them or hate them, this is eyeballs.
Yeah, 100%.
They have the marriage between UFC and ESPN has been beneficial. Like, I was worried about it because I'm a UFC guy as well. I was worried about UFC and ESPN, like, oh my gosh, they're going to like try and run crazy storylines on UFC. And UFC's just been doing their thing, and ESPN's gladly taken a step back and just let Dana do his thing, and everything's been fine on that front. I will agree with you that I am worried about what they're going to try and do with the product, because out of all the sports, NHL, I mean, there's commercials made about it. They're the most humble and team driven sport. There's no I, it's all me. How is ESPN going to handle something that's got no I in it?
Yeah.
Like, but
they'll try.
They're going,
they will
they're
try.
going, they're going to try. And it's one of those that, I mean, the NHL right now, they need the exposure. I mean,
yeah, they do.
Right after the lockout, the first, well, back in, what was it? Oh, well, I mean, after we lost the deal with ESPN, it was like 06,
05 or something. Yeah, around there.
The next deal that the NHL landed to get back on their feet was Outdoor Life Network.
Versus, baby.
Oh, the black and red Versus channel.
Yes.
And
what I loved about Versus was like the graphic, at the top of the screen that had the teams. So it would always be like,
yeah,
Colorado, and then the Versus logo, New Jersey. So yeah. That was perfect. I mean, it's team versus another team, and it just so happened to be the name of the network.
The NHL, they struggled for a long time.
Yeah, they really did.
And because it was ESPN and Fox at the time that would go back and forth. I wonder if that's in the works now, because you said 4 of the 7 Stanley Cups can go to ESPN.
Yeah.
ESPN owns Fox now. So
they do? Oh, well,
they have a agreement. Like, they have properties, they have the Fox studios,
like the movies and stuff, right?
What's the problem with allowing Fox Sports to get? I mean, they have no problem letting college football go back and forth between Fox and ESPN.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, okay.
Those alternate years, let's just bring it back to the way it used to be and have NHL on Fox, NHL on ESPN and ABC. I saw Gary Thorne's talking about, hey, call me. I'm good to go. I mean, they still have Linda Cohn, Steve Levy. Like, they still have everybody there. Like, right now on ESPN Plus, ESPN has a show just for the puckheads that they still have on staff at ESPN, because they're so passionate about it. They still put out a show on ESPN Plus. Granted, it's buried. It's buried.
That's my point, man. ESPN Plus, like, it will never get top billing, and I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. And baseball is split between ESPN and Fox, you know what I mean, and TBS and stuff like that. So those sports that have a long season. But basketball, I don't think, isn't basketball just ESPN and ABC, who obviously is owned by the same.
I think
company.
It's more popular on TNT.
Is NBA on NBC at all anymore? Do they still do NBC?
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know if I don't really watch basketball that much. Yeah. So
I think it's more popular on TNT because of their studio crew, and that's like the premier.
Right. Yes. So yeah, I think NBC will be in the mix on this, but ESPN loves their NFL and loves their NBA, and they've been pushing Major League Baseball out the door. I wonder if I don't know when that contract is up, but could the NHL take the place of of Major League Baseball if baseball exits, but you're still below football and basketball, which I get it. Like, you are there. That's where you're, and that's part of this deal, is to, like you said, get more eyeballs on the sport, and ESPN can do that for you. I am not debating that in any way, shape, or form. Go ahead.
A big point that with ESPN getting these 75 additional games and the NHL TV package merging into ESPN Plus, this also falls under quote unquote national broadcast, which means it alleviates the blackout restrictions still apply currently and will apply when you get ESPN Plus.
They still apply.
Yes. So with these 75 additional games going under the ESPN Plus, Hulu, and ESPN, a lot more fans, speaking to the Denver fans, you guys have more of a chance to watch the games on ESPN Plus and on Hulu because now the national broadcast has expanded. And I think this is a good way for the NHL to combat this. Like the reason us having to fight blackout restrictions when we can't get into 75% of the games is ridiculous.
It's stupid, right?
But this way is a way you can combat this. Like, I mean, even I know we talk about the Avalanche a lot, but I mean, it's an ongoing thing between Altitude and Comcast, and it's hard to get the game, period. And then when you do, it's blacked out. This is a way for Denver fans to get to watch it, and it's exposure, which is number one. Like if you go on the street right now and ask somebody, what do you think of Connor McDavid? I bet you a good percentage of them think you're talking about Conor McGregor and tell you, I don't watch UFC. I'm sorry.
Or they do watch UFC and correct you and say, you mean Conor McGregor?
Yeah,
like,
McGregor.
Yeah. No, like in that regard, even I'm still torn on that. Like I like this little world that us NHL hockey fans have. And we're the fourth major sport. I'm fine with that. I don't like when things kind of jump the shark and get too big like the NFL. I have scaled back on my NFL watching immensely.
Yeah.
And I don't like how the game is played anymore. I could go into that in a whole nother episode, but it's not my I still watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't like, I mean, dude, there were Sundays before I was married I would meet the boys at the bar at noon, and we would stay there till halftime of the night game.
Yeah.
So those were fun times, but like I have zero desire. I don't sit be like, I miss those days. I wish I could do that. And I'm not saying hockey's going to get to that point, but it might increase a little bit, which, I'm not naive enough to know like that does need to happen. It does need to happen that they need to increase revenue, increase viewership, and ESPN is the best way to do that. It really is.
And the NBC island is shrinking. They're dissolving the NBC Sports Network. So you can't to stay with NBC and be on NBC and then True TV or USA, whatever other channels.
USA they were going to. Yeah, which is still going to happen if they stick with NBC. Yeah.
But do you really think that that's more of an annoyance exposure compared to bleeding over into Hulu? I think people will be like, oh, well, a hockey game. Well, let's give this a shot instead of, oh my goodness, I can't watch Burn Notice for the 300th time on USA.
That's the weird thing about going to USA, because apparently USA does very well in ratings. So, which is why they're moving it over to that, because I guess NBC Sports is not doing as well as they want it to do.
It's weird,
but USA is not known for its sports.
No,
it's the only time you watch USA for sports is when the Olympics are on, and they put sports on 10 different channels because there's 10,000 events going on.
They also have the WWE.
Okay, all right.
And like I could talk about it like that way because I see how their ratings are there.
Which is probably great.
A lot of people will just be like, well, that's just wrestling. And I don't want the NHL to get like when people are clicking through the guide and they go to USA and they're like, oh, a hockey game's on. Well, I guess I'm not watching whatever normal USA program.
Yeah, they're just going to keep going. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where we're at with hockey is like you either watch it and you're a fan of it or you don't. And other sports like football, people would just throw a football game on and have it as background noise.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of hockey people do that. Like
No.
if you're watching hockey or sitting down and watching a game, I will have it on in the background because it doesn't matter to me. Like I always put it on. But
Yeah, there's always hockey games going on. Like
yeah, but you know what I mean? But we're kind of, the exception, not the rule. And that's not like for baseball. Love having a baseball game on in the background. Just leave it on, background noise. When you hear the crack of the bat, you peek and say, "Oh, what happened there? Oh, he's out. Okay, back to doing whatever I was doing." That's those sports generate that. Hockey doesn't. Hockey is every second that is played, there's action on the ice, and you have to watch it. So that's
my big hope is the fans that we lost during the lockouts, because we lost a lot. A lot of people turned off and said, "Okay, I'm done with this." I hope that scrolling through your ESPN Plus or on Hulu, that you see that NHL hockey is available. You're like, you know what? I haven't got to catch a hockey game in a while. Let's see what's going on here.
Yeah, right.
That's where it's up to ESPN and their marketing.
Well,
that's the concerning part.
And that's what I was going to say. And this is where ESPN needs to really do a service for hockey and hockey fans and not put idiots like Stephen A. Smith on the screen and share his 5 things that he knows about hockey. That doesn't help.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to Stephen A. Smith for hockey knowledge. And he shouldn't want to be the one to give me hockey knowledge.
No.
So let's just separate those two. Why do we have to have that segment where it's the joking segment about, and this is going to go on, dude. Like, we are going to get a Stephen A. Smith segment every once in a while about things to do with hockey. And it doesn't help. And that's where my concern with ESPN comes in. How are they going to present it? Are they going to take it serious, or are they going to do crap like that and bring in other guys and other football guys because they have 87 football analysis? So let's hear what your take is on hockey now. Like, we're not doing that. You know, if hockey guys and hockey analysts are, you know, you'll hear them talk about the Super Bowl, but they're talking about it seriously, not joking about it. But why is the NHL a joke to these guys? And that's what bothers me. And there was one time when LeBron James was on the Heat, the Miami Heat, and they had a 14-game winning streak going. At the same time, the Chicago Blackhawks had a 21-game point streak going. And it forced ESPN to talk about hockey. They hated it. But that run for the Blackhawks, and I think it went up to like 28 or 29 games, like points in point game, not a 29-game winning streak, but they had, you know, either lost in overtime or something, gained a point. So it forced ESPN to talk about it. So what did they do? They had Stephen A. Smith on to talk about what's more impressive, the Blackhawks run or the Miami Heat run. I'll give you one guess on what he thought was more impressive.
Oh, if it had something to do with LeBron James, I could tell you.
Exactly. And not only did he say it was more impressive, he went out of his way to talk about how unimpressive what the Blackhawks are doing is.
Yeah. And
it's not.
ESPN was founded with hockey. It was one of the first things that they.
It's true.
And I really feel like that divorce that we had with the NHL and ESPN was bitter on both sides. The NHL literally fell on their face on Outdoor Life Network, and ESPN did everything in their power to make sure they stayed there.
To laugh at them while they were down.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's one of those that ESPN and the NHL, they're kind of walking down the mall, and NHL looks at ESPN, ESPN looks at NHL, they're like, you know what, you weren't so bad. And they're like, yeah, you're right. And they finally get together and they're holding hands. And how do they announce it? They say, oh, we have the old song back from NHL.
Which is great.
And they're hitting, like, it's a beautiful thing to watch, like, to see it go back together. Like, I think the first 2 weeks of this will be great. It's going to be nostalgia fest and Gary Thorne here and but how do they maintain it?
Right.
Is what I'm worried about. I don't want Lee Corso putting on a Howler head or a Bernie head.
No,
Like,
that's what I don't want them to treat the NHL the way they treat their other sports.
yeah.
But I don't see that happening. I think they're going to treat it like that and more.
Well, see, a lot of their hockey guys, they keep on like the odd time sports centers, like Buchagras and
he's great.
Lindicone and Levy. Like
Yep.
they all used to be part of the NHL and NBC. I mean, ESPN. So they were, after that went away, they all went to the weird time sports centers and ESPN News. And but now they can all come back.
And I do look at like their baseball coverage, and the guys that they had for baseball are insanely knowledgeable, really good analysts. I don't know who's there still. I know like Gammons is gone. Who are some of those other
Pedro Gomez just passed away.
He passed away. Who's their other guys that he always Kirkjian is awesome. And there was one other guy that he coasted Mike and Mike when like Golick was out every once in a while. I can't think of his name. Buster Olney.
Yeah, Buster Olney. Yeah.
Great. Like those guys are, and when you watch like Baseball Tonight, you're getting just really good facts.
Yeah.
And then you go watch a baseball game and they want to put all these just crazy stats up and his hitting, his average when it's a 2-2 count at night. And I'm like, too much. I just let me watch the game.
Where's Barry Melrose?
I see he's got to be there, right? I don't watch ESPN anymore.
Yeah, I'm genuine. Has anyone checked on Barry?
Is Barry okay? He might be up here. He's got a house up in Saratoga, around where I live. So
might want to go knock on his door, and be like, "Hey, bud."
I know. And you know who else? He probably lives next door to Bill Parcells. Parcells has a house up in Saratoga too. Yeah. So I don't know. Like we'll see. I'm always one to give something a shot and say, okay, let's hopefully, everybody learn from old mistakes, and maybe ESPN doesn't go down the road that they are with like football, over analyzing everything, and see what happens. I'm willing to give it a chance. I just don't have high hopes.
Yeah, like I grew up in that era of just like prime, like 90s and early 2000s ESPN NHL coverage, just like the ESPN2, like NHL Tonight, and like you had like the blue and the purple and the black and everything was cool.
Yeah. I was
cool
awesome.
arena, and like I'm nostalgic for those days. I guess that's a lot of my stance on it. I want it to return to that, where we get our passionate ESPN coverage. I just hope that they don't turn on us like they turned on baseball.
Yeah.
Because I kind of think that they're trying to push baseball back down and bring NHL to kind of take that spot, which is great, which is what NHL fans have always wanted. But ESPN, they can be kind, they can be cruel. And can we keep it up? I mean, they're catching us. When we finish this, the Kraken will be in, so they can run with the Kraken for a while.
Yep.
But we still have all the uncertainty from COVID and what we're going to do with contracts and the salary cap. And will the Coyotes stay in Arizona? Will the Panthers stay in Florida? Like, I think they'll have fun with that aspect.
That's all.
If ESPN figures out what's going on with the Coyotes, they are going to have a field day.
Well, I don't think anybody can figure out what's going on with the Coyotes, but just prepare yourself for a lot of talk about comparisons. And Connor McDavid to Wayne Gretzky. You're going to get that more than you want. Trust me. And all of these other crazy scenarios that they like to talk about. I don't think, when 1st and 10 was a thing, all of the crazy scenarios and topics that they came up with, they're going to do that. They love debate. That is what ESPN is now built on now, is debate style shows. And they're going to find the most ridiculous topics when it comes to hockey to debate and a lot of it is going to revolve around the old versus the new. So
Hey, you know
if you
what?
like that stuff, tune in. I'm not going to. I'll tune into the games because I want to watch the games. But all that extra fodder, I'm just not going to listen to it.
You know, we haven't. We've done. You had me on for an episode of Locked On Avalanche where we talked about Avalanche players being Marvel and Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
We've been known to have crazy debates, and we don't have a network. ESPN, if you are out there, fourth line
We'll do
minutes
it.
on ESPN, we could be the new cold pizza.
Cold pizza, man. ESPN too.
Oh,
we'll you know what we'll call it? We'll just call it the Jim Rome Show. And it'll just be us. Jim Rome has nothing to do with the show.
Jim Rome is burning. Oh, that dude.
And we'll just beat people up. So that would be our show.
Did you ever watch Stump the Schwab?
Loved Stump the Schwab.
Oh my God.
Loved
that was incredible.
That guy is a genius. Where's he? Is he still alive?
I don't know.
Schwab.
I wonder if he and Barry Melrose have like a townhome somewhere, a duplex
up in Saratoga. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun. At least it will give us stuff to talk about. I can almost guarantee it. So, all right, man. Hit the simulator. Did you hit it?
We have a simulator. Yes. As soon as we started Worst Take, I hit the simulator.
Okay. And I know the last show we did, the Avalanche were the champions.
They were indeed.
So are we back-to-back Stanley Cup hoisters?
We have completely fresh teams in the Stanley Cup.
Okay. So therefore, I will guess, and I will say, because we were ragging on the Arizona Coyotes, I will say the Arizona Coyotes, and we'll go with the Capitals. We'll go with the Washington Capitals.
How about neither of those teams in the playoffs?
Okay.
We have in a 6-game Stanley Cup between Dallas and Boston.
I was this close to saying Dallas, but I didn't want to give them any credit. So
they lost to the Boston Bruins. And you have Boston is your Stanley Cup champion.
Boston is your champion. Okay.
Which is just, there's no way. Not with this Boston team.
That rubs me the wrong way.
The Penguins, for some reason, won the President's Trophy.
Wow. Okay.
I don't understand that at all. Like, that just makes no sense.
Who you got for awards?
Art Ross, Kuznetsov from Washington. There's your Capital representative. He won the Hart and the Art Ross.
Okay.
The Norris, Drew Doughty.
Hey. Okay. I like Doughty.
Kuznetsov also won the Lady Byng, the Calder. I mean, this is going to happen. I mean, mark it down. Shift 11.
Kaprizov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah, that's in the bag.
Conn Smythe, David Pasternak. The Vezina goes to Smith.
Who?
Goalie for Pittsburgh?
I'm not familiar.
I don't.
Is he a made-up player?
He's got a picture. I'm looking at him.
Let me see. What? Hang on.
DeSmith. DeSmith. He looks like a great guy. He almost looks like a youth pastor or like the guy that works at Best Buy second shift.
I'm trying. They're playing. Actually, they just played tonight. They actually just beat the Bruins.
See.
Okay. Roster. Goaltending. Yeah. Casey DeSmith. How's he doing this year? Stats.
Is he got
9 games?
9 games. Is he under 910 save percentage?
He's 912.
Well, give him the Jennings. Give it the Jennings and he won the Jennings and the Vezina.
Wow. No, it doesn't seem like he's their number one guy. I would think
it was Tristan Jarry.
I would think Jarry would be. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, Jarry's got 19, and then Maxim Lagace is just on here. He hasn't played at all. He's their third. Yeah, it looks like DeSmith is their backup. So
Are we predicting the future?
I don't know.
Great. Wow. Pittsburgh
Very
with a
interesting.
goally controversy? That's never happened.
Yes, you heard it here first, folks.
Keep an
So,
eye on that Pittsburgh goalie situation.
all right, that'll be it. So next week, probably some Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Anything else that comes out of the Avalanche world? I did watch half of Raya and the
What'd you
Last
think?
Dragon. So far, it's really good.
See, that's what I've heard. I heard it was probably best Disney animation so far.
See, I don't pick up on stuff like that until like repeated viewings. Like the first time I watch it, just like watch the story. Yeah, you're watching the visuals and stuff like that, but it's she's almost like a good version of Thanos. Yeah, like the storyline is, I'm not giving too much away, but like there's this big like gem, and the gem like shatters and it goes to all different parts of like the world that she's in, and she has to go get them and piece them back together. So she's technically like Thanos, but she's good and she kicks people's ass. So
I've been wanting to check it. I've been wanting to check it out, and then I've heard, because I'm like I do art and stuff. I dabble with art, and I heard that like it's some of the best animation they've ever done. So I might have to check it out. Like, it's why Rango is still one of my favorite animated films.
Yeah, Rango's a good movie, man. That is a good movie.
And like the animation in it, just still to this day, I have it on Blu-ray and I'll just watch it, and it's beautiful.
It's true. It's a good movie. So we'll probably finish it. Like, we got through half of it, and then my daughter she does that. Like, she's 4.
Yeah.
So she was interested in it, and then as soon as a squirrel ran by, she's somewhere else. So we'll finish it.
If you watch the episode, tell us who had the worst take. Like, ESPN yay, ESPN nay.
Yeah.
What'd you think of WandaVision? You gotta let us know on Twitter.
Good idea. Yeah. All right, man. That will be it. So we'll see everybody next week, and follow the show on the social media worlds out there. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
Oh, and follow me on Twitch, Shaggy Von Doom 13.
Yes.
If you can't get enough of the show,
absolutely
join the Twitch streams. We're always playing like Fortnite or something. So
absolutely,
those are always fun.
Good stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.